Personal growth and change is something that never really comes to an end. We never stop the ongoing process of growing and reflecting and changing and improving in our lives in order to help those around us improve theirs as well. Today I want to explore this continual journey of personal development that we go on and how the powers of self-awareness play into this. I'm Dr. Alan Johnson, and on this channel I talk about the mind, well-being, productivity, and change for thinkers, makers, and everyone in between. As humans, we are unique among all other animals in our conscious awareness of self. And this self-awareness is what enables us to have a reflective mind and enables us to continuously analyze and understand our thoughts, our feelings, and our behaviors. Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, a French philosopher and Jesuit priest, famously said that we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. It's important to point out that de Chardin was not just a priest, but also a scientist who, throughout his lifetime of work, sought to reconcile science and spirituality in the 20th century. And his work emphasized the spiritual evolution of humanity, suggesting that our consciousness and our self-awareness are integral to our spiritual journey and integral to our human journey as well. Self-awareness means being conscious of our own feelings, our own motives, our own desires, being aware of the unconscious mindsets and beliefs that might be flowing through us. And it's a really crucial aspect in gaining an accurate self-concept. And an accurate self-concept is an understanding of who we truly are. Daniel Goleman, in his book Emotional Intelligence, describes self-awareness as the keystone of emotional intelligence, enabling better self-regulation, empathy, and social skills. So basically, as Goleman argues, as we become more self-aware, we become better able to show up in the world around us. An accurate self-concept involves a true understanding of our strengths, our weaknesses, and our unique qualities, the things that set us apart, the things that make us special. Maybe these skills are, having the athletic ability of an Olympic athlete, or maybe just being able to show up in a certain way for your child or partner or friend. All of us have unique abilities that we bring with us to share with the world. And understanding our uniqueness, understanding our unique set of strengths and weaknesses and everything in between helps us to navigate our lives with greater authenticity and greater clarity. Because the meaning of events that happen to us and the experiences that we encounter in our day-to-day lives are entirely assigned by us. Things happen to us, of course. We encounter other people. There are positive things that we encounter. There are negative things that we encounter. But all of these remain external to us. We internalize these outward experiences by interpreting them, by giving them a meaning of some sort. And as we learn more about ourselves, and as we expand our self-awareness, we can begin to come into different relationship to the experiences around us and learn how to ascribe perhaps more supportive and more positive meanings that contribute to ongoing long-term growth. Viktor Frankl, a psychotherapist, in his very influential book, Man's Search for Meaning, argues that human capacity to assign meaning to life's events, even events that cause a huge amount of suffering within us, is a crucial part not only of who we are as humans, but a crucial part of our evolution and growth as humans. As we delve deeper into our understanding of ourselves, our self-awareness expands. And as our self-awareness expands, we are better able to recognize how we are assigning meaning to things that is external to us. We are better able to recognize how the life that we see is actually to an extraordinarily large percent based upon our interpretation of it. Our self-esteem is the relationship that we have with ourselves, the stories that we tell about ourselves, how we interpret who we are. In the same way that we interpret external events, things that happen to us, we also interpret who we believe we are. And that interpretation, that relationship that we develop with ourselves is what we call more often our self-esteem. It's that relationship we have with ourselves. And most importantly, how kind we are with ourselves. Self-esteem is essentially a form of self-love. Because the thoughts that are constantly flowing through our heads about who we are and how good we are or how bad we are at certain things, these are more often than not much more hurtful things than we would ever say to anyone else. That constant stream of consciousness flowing through our mind is usually far more critical of ourselves than anyone around us. And just imagine if that voice in your head was your friend or someone around you who was constantly saying, "You're not good enough to do this. You can't achieve this. No matter how hard you try, you'll never be able to overcome this particular challenge." If that was someone around you, would you stick around with them? No, probably not. You would probably get a little bit bored of that monotony of their constant critiques of you. And yet we put up with that voice when it's inside of our own mind, when that voice is that voice of the inner critic within us. As we begin to come into a stronger relationship with who we are, we begin to take some of the heat and fire out of that voice. We begin to get rid of that monotonous, judgmental voice within us. The self-critical thoughts that fill our minds so much of the time are things we would never say to other people. But these are thoughts that very much shape our own sense of self. And when these thoughts begin to take over, these negative limiting things we believe about ourselves, this is when low self-esteem begins to kick in, and it manifests in lots of different ways. In self-doubt, in fear of failure, and social withdrawal. We begin to move away from the world outside as a protective measure. I want to try a little exercise now to help you address some of these negative voices that might be holding you back, that might be preventing you from continuing to grow and change. And this exercise is going to help you cultivate a little bit more of a positive relationship with yourself. I want you to take a moment now and identify a negative thought or belief that you frequently tell yourself. Something that you believe that you're not good at, or that you can't do, or that no matter how hard you try, you'll never be able to achieve. I want you to write this negative thought down and ask yourself, is this something that you would say to a friend? No, probably not. I want you now instead to replace that negative thought with a kinder, more supportive statement, something that you would say to a friend. So for example, changing "I'm not good enough" to, well, how would you say something to a friend that you're doing your best and you're improving every day? What does it feel like to say something different to that part of yourself? Practicing this type of reframing of these limiting thoughts and beliefs and mindsets is something that we can continue and that we need to continue every day, because these beliefs are persistent and can hold us back from growing and continually evolving and improving and becoming even more of the person that we know that we are meant to be. And remember that change and growth are ongoing processes. These are things that never end. That negative limiting voice in us wants us to stay still. It wants us to stay static and immoving. But change and growth are continual and rely upon a sense of self-awareness and an understanding of who we are. As we continue to grow into a stronger sense of self-esteem, we create a more positive and fulfilling life, one in which we have opportunities for continual growth, change, and renewal. I hope that you'll like and follow this video and maybe even share it with someone who you think would enjoy it as well, as we can all embrace this journey of self-awareness and personal growth. Remember, this is a lifetime process, but every step that you take along the way is an incredibly valuable one.